All right, welcome to Stampscaping 101. What we have here are the two new to me glitter cardstocks. Okay, I have a black glitter cardstock. It doesn't look that glittery. And the silver one. That silver one is going to be something to work with. I see it more as like a card making type of surface, to put my cards on, as a little bit of foundation to give them a little bit of bling or something like that. Not that card, but some card that maybe has some silver in or something like that, and to throw this around it, just to give a little bit of excitement. There, it could even be like a real thin layer around it like that. Okay, but here's my question. These two card stocks are very textural, okay? And I'm guessing that they're also probably a little bit non-porous, okay? Just from the very nature of it, there's a lot of that metallic, you know, glitter on that, and it's probably coated to seal it in there. Okay, that glitter's not going to be like rubbing off or anything like that. So here's the challenge here. Can I stamp something on here and have it even show up? Can we stamp on there and have it can we get a good impression on this type of thing, this type of textured surface? Being that it has to, the stamp has to get into the grooves. Now, someone brought up, hey, what about the stamp foamies? Okay, they watched the unboxing, and I was, kind of wondering about that type of thing. And I thought, hey, that's a really good idea. So let's give that a try here. Let's give this a little bit of atmosphere in the background first with a little bit of white pigment ink, and let's see how that goes. Let's see how if it takes it. I'm guessing it would, but I don't know. All right, so I'm just going to give this some little swooshy types of things. Wow, that is a very, very textured surface right here. I feel like what this feels like I'm doing is it feels like I'm applying this pigment ink on plastic. It doesn't even, it even looks plastic, doesn't it? Or like if you were to put like embossing powder over an entire card or something like that, like black embossing or clear embossing over black. That's what it kind of feels like to me. Okay, so this is just a little bit of little swooshes in the background. Okay. And I'm even leaving some of this fiber on there. It's almost like sanding my cotton ball. Okay, so we have that going in there. Just a little bit of atmosphere. Let me get some of that fuzzy cotton off of there. I'm using the Brilliance ink. The Brilliance ink should dry on here with no problem, but let's see how this goes. Okay, so I'm thinking about some trees on here, and I was wondering about silver. Okay, silver on here, on black. A little bit metallic, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so this is a Brilliance Starlite Silver. And I just re-inked it. Boy, and it was so watery. I was wondering if, I had to shake it up. I didn't know you had to shake up re-inkers, but maybe for pigment inks you do. I don't know. Well, I definitely did on this one, so, yeah. I've been wanting an excuse to use some Starlight Silver on something, because this is one of my favorite metallic pigment inks, I guess. I just love the look of it. All right, so let's see. Let's give this a try. All right. Pigment ink is pretty thick, so I don't know. I'm hoping it gets in the contours here. Looks like it did. Look at that. So that's a metallic silver. I don't know what it looks like. To me, it almost looks like, just to the naked eye, almost looks just like it's gray. You know, it doesn't look very reflective, which is kind of interesting because if you stamp this silver on just like a white cardstock, it's very reflective, but maybe because, you know, it's the contrast between this background is just so shiny, you know, glittery. Maybe it doesn't look so much due to the contrast of the surrounding reflective surface that we're using this on. Now I'm holding this down for a little bit longer too, just to let the Brilliance ink kind of transfer and start setting up a little bit. Okay. Setting up, I'm talking about drying on the surface. Okay. So we have that. I don't think I had any kind of problem with the impressions there. They seem to be rather full, as far as I know. All right, let's try some of the white Brilliance ink with my leafless pine tree, okay? I'm inking up more than I need to, but so be it. Okay. Go over here. Just in theory, I think the white one will look like it's in front of the silver just because it's a lighter value, and I'm stamping it over the top of the silver, so let's see here. Okay. Like that, okay. Yeah, looks like it's in kind of the foreground, I think. And how about a little bit of a lower one here? Come down about over here, maybe. Like that. I think it doesn't look too bad. Like that, it looks fairly dimensional. Let's go one more. They say that you do things in kind of groupings of 3, right? And if I come over here, maybe it won't look so, I don't know, symmetrical. Or, I don't know, repetitive, I should say, not symmetrical. All right, so putting that one down below. And let's consider maybe adding some more texture into this piece. If we should, maybe I shouldn't. Okay, I was going to splatter paint in here, but I think it's already kind of visually too loud for anything too crazy. Let's see. Okay, I brought out this stamp here to give it a try on here, just night. Let's test this out. Okay, so those were the foamies. Let's test out a word stamp here. Oops, I used my C one instead of my impression Brilliance pad, but let's test this out here. Let's see if a rubber stamp will make a good impression over the top of this paper. I think it's not too bad. I think I didn't ink up enough. I forgot my pad was a little bit dry, but I don't know, let's just go with it. Yeah, there's all kinds of fuzzies on here. That was my cotton ball pad that I keep kind of drier. Okay, let's see if we can get some little highlights and let's put a little dimension into these trees here, okay? So on the tops of some of these trees, I'll just kind of add a little bit of a contrasting white. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not so much contrast because it's white on white, but I don't know, a dimensional, a value change, I guess I should say. It's not so much of a big contrast, but let's get some of that added on here and see what that can do for the piece. It's kind of nice having this texture on the paper because it kind of keeps my pen flowing really nicely. Sometimes when I'm going over media, it kind of goes into the tip of the pen. And what, especially when I'm working on a smooth surface or cardstock, and then I have media applied on top of it, sometimes it digs up that media that's already been applied and it goes into the pen. But having this kind of real textural surface, it's kind of, I think it's kind of keeping it free of that too much of a clog now. Just saying that, that got me a little bit clogged, and okay, it's flowing again. Okay, so hopefully you can see this little kind of changes on there. I could put some of it in the background too on these silver branches, maybe. Now, silver branches are darker. Maybe if they catch the light, maybe they'd be lighter, I'm not sure. But we can get a little dimension in those ones as well. All right, let's see if I can add in some stars up here now, okay? I kind of cluster these a little bit. Okay, now keep in mind, I'm just noticing on this paper, it's very textural. It's like adding these little things on plastic, so I think it's almost like it's like sandpaper on this pen tip. I think it's going to be okay, but it's like I said, it's like adding it in plastic. Luckily, this type of acrylic pen, paint pen, can write on anything. Okay. It's known for being able to write on glass, paper, of course, plastic, whatever you want. There's just kind of this rocks, there was this kind of absurd, I thought, notice on one of these acrylic paint pens, the Meowsen, I think, and it said skin. I mean, who's going to write it, use it to, on their skin? I'm not quite sure. But it did say that, so I don't know. Maybe it was just making a point of writing on hard surface as well as something very soft. Okay, so that is that. Let's go with a couple little silver stars as well. Ooh, actually, that looks pretty cool. You can add a couple crystals up here too, and that may be kind of interesting. All right, so this is this. I don't know. It's not spectacular or anything like that, but we're kind of testing for. I don't know if we can print on there. How full of an impression, okay, can we do on there? And I don't know, just seeing how the media takes to this type of glitter surface like this. So let me get this formatted into a card, and I'm kind of curious to see what it would look like. So I don't know, I'll figure something to put on here. Yeah, it's a pretty shiny card, so I don't think I'm gonna format it like on this. This is like too much bling on there. It's like drowning out the imagery. So maybe some white or some, I don't know. If I had like gray to frame on here, or maybe we should try it with some sort of color maybe, and see how that looks. But I don't know if you can see on there some of those different. I don't know if they're really that silver. I guess okay. So that silver is reasonably reflective in terms of the background trees on there. The Brilliance white almost looks a little bit more reflective, but I don't know. Let's see how this goes. Okay, there is the formatting on here. I was looking at my piece. The lighting that I have in my studio is like everything's kind of even, so it kind of washes out some of the texturing on here because I have light coming from every direction. So you don't see, but then when I was looking at it under like a single source, it was like super glittery and it looked completely changed. Let me see what it looks like with my, if I can put my swing arm light on here. Let's see. It's a little bit of a different, look how, see that shiny that is? Like that? I thought it looked, you know, I thought it looked okay before, but then when I was looking at it under the other light, it's like, oh wow, that is much stronger of a glittery surface like that. So yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? You know what I mean? See that like that? I mean, I have this single source of light on here with the other fill, so it does look different under different light. Even when I was just walking around with it, it looked a little bit different too. So, I don't know, in this case, the thing that I'm using in my studio here, so we can, shoot these videos with reasonably decent lighting, is the thing that for this particular paper, I think it's kind of making it kind of uninteresting a little bit like that. You know what I mean? It looks kind of flat, but under most other lighting, okay, it's a much more kind of exciting surface like that, and a lot more glittery. Okay. All right. So, anyways, that's my first test with this. In this case, the black glitter paper, which is, you know, I think it's going to be an easier thing to work on than this one right here. If I do anything directly on her, if anything possibly is going to work on there at all. But the black one's pretty cool with the reverse types of imagery on here, light on dark. And those little swatches there in the background, I think worked out a little bit. You know what I mean? It was easy to do with just some pigment ink. Just get a little swooshy type of thing going in the background. It just kind of breaks up that kind of monotony of the sky. I do think that, maybe some other colors in here. Let me try something. Okay, so this is just a blue paint pen here. Just some other kind of hue in here might be kind of interesting. Yeah. I'm just adding these kind of a little bit of a Milky Way type of thing. That. It needed, I don't know, something else in here, I think. Or I don't know, it could use it. I don't want to say it needed it, but okay, do you see that little blue stars up there? Now let me try some of this. I don't know if I can do this or not, if the white pigment ink on here will accept it, the white Brilliance, or the silver Brilliance, but okay, this is working out. Let's just add in a little tinge of blue to this slightly more foreground white leafless pine here. Okay. And I'm doing it kind of over like half of the trunk, and I'm putting it on some of the lower side parts of the branches here. So I'm kind of shading it, in other words. Okay. Let's see on the silver. Yeah, silver, you can't really see it quite as much. I do see where it is taking it a little bit though. So I don't know if you can see that on there or not. That bluish tinge on those trees. Maybe a little bit, huh? I stamped them both kind of leaning over this way a little bit. Maybe there's, I don't know, wind in the air. Okay, so anyways, first test. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty fun. Not too bad of a kind of experiment, I guess. Here's a little bit of a, oh, here's another blue. A little bit of a lighter, warm blue to kind of intersperse in there. Yeah, it kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, I think. Having a slight hue change within that space, okay? So, I don't know. It'd be something to test out. If you have any of this type of paper sitting around, kind of a darker cardstock, it doesn't matter if it's, glitter or not. You can do these same types of things on there. It'll, look different. You know, if matte or glossy is going to look matte and glossy. But you can do these reverse types of impressions on there and do that same type of technique with the swooshes or whatever in the background if you want to. And, you know, those types of things will all kind of apply to those types of surfaces easier than this one. Okay, remember this one's like non-porous and very textured, so it's going to adhere to, you know, a flatter one and, you know, maybe a little bit more porous, maybe not. Okay, I know it works on foils just fine. So just, you know, I've done this composition before, but I don't know, this paper, you know, put to the test here seemed to, I don't know, work just fine. So I don't know. We'll try some other tests in the future. So anyways, thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed it.